Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my series, Stand Talk, where I talk about various stands from the series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about Kira Yoshikage's stand, Sheer Heart Attack. Now, before I move on to the video, I do want to say that Sheer Heart Attack isn't a stand, it's a substand, which technically means it's not a stand, it's just an ability of Killer Queen. But since substands are really similar to just regular stands, I decided to talk about it even though technically it's an ability, not a stand. For the musical reference, Sheer Heart Attack is named after a Queen album by the same name, which was released in November 1974. I don't really have to get into any more than that because I'm pretty sure most of you know who Queen is. In terms of appearance, Sheer Heart Attack is a small sort of tank thing. It's shaped like an orb, circular. It's got tank treads. Its face is a cat skull. It's got like this sort of orb bulb thing on the top of it. Its eyes glow, and when Killer Queen summons it, it sort of comes out of Killer Queen's gauntlet. Now, in the manga, Sheer Heart Attack was actually green instead of blue, and I actually think the green fits it a lot better than the blue, given the fact that Sheer Heart Attack is supposed to be like a tank, it has tank treads and stuff. But the blue looks nice too, though. In terms of its actual size, I tried to find an exact sort of number, how small it is. I couldn't find it, so here's a picture of Star Platinum punching it, so you can sort of see the scale of Star Platinum's fist and Sheer Heart Attack itself. As you can see, it's pretty small. And even though stand stats a lot of times don't make sense, I will say Sheer Heart Attack's stand stats. It has an A in power, a C in speed, an A in range, an A in durability, an E in precision, and an A in potential. By the way, that durability should be like a fucking S or something. Sheer Heart Attack is a remote control type stand, which means that the user does not have to be present, and the user does not have to give the stand commands for it to do its thing. It does it automatically. This does not mean that Sheer Heart Attack has a will of its own. It does talk, but it's mainly just a few phrases it says depending on the situation, so it's predetermined speech. Main thing he says being, look over here. And he also says ow, ow, ow when Star Platinum was trying to rip him apart. Sheer Heart Attack's ability is that it is a heat-seeking bomb, which is how it is remote controlled without Kira having to do anything. Kira sends it out, and it goes after the hottest thing in the area. And once it gets close enough, it explodes. So it's basically a bomb that heat seeks, and it can explode an infinite amount of time. That's its ability. So Sheer Heart Attack's ability is pretty good, but that's not what makes it so powerful. What makes it so powerful is it's basically nigh indestructible. Kira at one point states that Sheer Heart Attack has no weaknesses, and what I think he was referring to is the fact that Sheer Heart Attack's defense is through the fucking roof. This is demonstrated by Star Platinum, which is one of the most powerful stands just in terms of raw power, punched it 1 billion times, and yet it could still get up and follow them and explode. Now, Sheer Heart Attack does get damaged. Like, one of its treads falls off, it gets dented, the bulb thing on top of it falls off, and it is cracked because Star Platinum tried to rip it apart. But the fact that it was able to survive that many punches by Star Platinum, of all stands, is absolutely incredible. And Sheer Heart Attack does technically beat Jotaro. Now, this was because Koichi was being dumb, but still, sheer heart attack blows him the fuck up. Don't feel too bad for Jotaro, though, because later he does get his revenge on Kira. Now, even though sheer heart attack, again, is nigh indestructible, I do think that saying that it has no weaknesses is kind of an over-exaggeration. In terms of defense, it's pretty much unbeatable, but that does not mean it does not have weaknesses. Like its heat-seeking. Like with its heat-seeking, we see Koichi exploit it to basically make it useless. It doesn't last, but still, the fact that Koichi was able to do that with his Act 2 means that it does have a weakness. And then, of course, later on, when Act 2 evolves into Act 3, he keeps sheer heart attack immobile, and you can also say that was kind of a weakness too. So the whole sheer heart attack has no weaknesses thing, to me, is a bit like the Emerald Splash cannot be deflected thing, where the user says it, but it just isn't an actual thing. Like the Emerald Splash gets deflected every time it's used, I'm pretty sure. Now, that doesn't mean we can blame Kira for anything. It's just that Kira, when he says this, is like he hasn't been fighting other stand users at all, right? So you can forgive him for saying something like that. It's just he made an assumption, basically. It was probably the worst assumption he ever made in his life, given how the fight ended up, but still just an assumption. But yeah, that is sheer heart attack. It's one of my favorite stands. I love the concept of it. I love the idea of a stand that is incredibly indestructible. And its ability of heat-seeking bomb is really, really cool. Let me know what you think about sheer heart attack. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And leave suggestions for stands for future episodes. And yeah, have a fantastic day.